Hi, welcome to another Iowa High School Athletic Association training tape. My name is Monte Tilgner, and this training tape is going to focus on offensive holding, defensive pass interference, offensive pass interference, and illegal block in the back fouls. So let's go ahead and take a look here. Let's get started with our first play. So on this first play, we have a holding call, and just want to talk about increasing our threshold and understanding what we're looking for on hold so we can be more consistent and have better holding fouls. This is not a hold. He just overpowers him, and he does take him to the ground, but he just pushes him to the ground from the side. This is not a grab and restrict takedown where he twists and turns him and throws him down to the ground. This is just a good block that occurs. I mean, he just rides him. Okay, so let's go back and look at this in slow motion. Starts out legal, obviously on the side, we're not in the back. And the player's turning. He's just riding the player, and ends up going down to the ground. So that is not a foul for a block in the back, not a foul for offensive holding. He just pushes him down to the ground from the side. So again, work on increasing that threshold. Let's go back mechanically and take a look at a couple things here. Back judge, we're in good position. No need to move. Back judge, just stay right there. Don't move at all. Just watch him blocks. And hopefully we were at the goal line with our line judge before he reached the goal line. All right, this next play here. This is one where we're going to have a hold, correct call. So just talking about where we should be looking at this point in time. This is where we should be looking. Our back judge is going to be looking. Remember, back judge, we're looking in front, inside out. So we're going to be looking at the blocks by these two players. And our line judge, our wing officials are going to be looking at blocks more from the outside in, but also in front. There is no reason right now for anybody to be watching this runner. Okay, he's in space. He can't foul or be fouled, so we do not need to be watching him at this time. And let's get rid of those. Oops, no one will get rid of that one. Oh well. Let's go now and continue. And that's a grab and restrict. That's a takedown hold. Okay. So we're looking at the right spot. There's our foul. Okay, so this was a flag by both guys. And again, back judge does a nice job. If we're starting out in the middle of the field like we want to be, let's go back and take a look at where we were at the start of the play. Okay, so we're snapping the ball inside the 25. So if we're not inside the 20, if you want to be at the goal line, that's fine. But if that's the case, as soon as you see this ball is snapped, and it's not a handoff or an immediate pass, right now you should be retreating to the end line. Okay, if we're in the middle of the field, we'd be in better position here. Okay, we know we have a screen pass here, so touch behind the line. So we didn't have anyone blocking early anyway. But if we did, it would have been fine. Okay, so now we're looking at good. Our back. The reason why it's a good flag by our back judge is the guys he was looking at was here, but he doesn't have to be looking there because there's space. We don't want to officiate error, so he was looking there initially. That since there wasn't contact, and the contact was made by this player, the back judge is looking through and picks up that as well. Okay, now let's talk about enforcement. We got a running play, fouls behind the basic spot. So again, this is a good hold to get. Take down to the point of attack, get to the goal line without hesitation. The line judge here, and knowing it's your hold, don't signal touchdown, but we do need to signal something. So again, talking about penalty enforcement, we're going to enforce it from the spot of that foul. So if our flag was not at the right spot, we just need to remember where that occurred right there at the 15-yard line. So we're going to take that from the 15 back to the 25, and we are going to repeat, in this case, second down. We ended up with a touchdown, I believe, and if we ended up with a touchdown, then yes, we did end up with a touchdown. The clock would be on the snap, so we would be position 1, 25-yard line, clock on the snap. So again, since this official made the call, we would not signal touchdown, but we do need to signal something. And when that if we're not going to signal touchdown because we know that our hold is going to make it where it's not a touchdown, we don't want to signal touchdown mechanically. But what we do want to do is just give the kill the clock signal. We don't get any signal at all by our officials, and we would want to give the kill the clock signal. All right, this next play here. Again, the quarterback's in shotgun, so the line judge has forward backward. Okay, and the initial direction is what we're worried about. This is not a block in the back that you're going to see right here coming up. He's not in chase mode. All the contact would have to be inside the numbers. All the forcible contact would have to be inside the numbers for this to be a block in the back. Let's go back now and take a look at that block. It's coming at him from the side. So even though, his body is kind of behind him, this is a side block. And let's look at who should be seeing that. All right, so if we continue a little bit right now, we do not need to officiate air. So if we, this is the thing, if we know, as I had line judge, that forward backwards is going to be our line judge, then we don't have to worry about that pass, and then we can get out here on this block a little earlier. Okay, so as we continue this, right now, we would see that block from the side. Okay, and now who we all should be looking at right now, it's important that we all know who everyone's looking at so we don't miss blocks. So as a back judge, you need to know that your line of scrimmage official is going to be looking inside out. I'm sorry, from the outside in ahead. So he's going to be looking at this block right here by number 8. And if you know he's looking at that block, then that tells you, well, you better see this one. And this one has a red flag in that he's behind him. Okay, so he is behind the runner, which is called chase mode. He's got a brick in his hand for a potential foul for a block in the back. And as we continue, boom, there it is right there. Okay, so let's go back and talk about, I think that's what my next note is. Yep, we talked about the B. Why the umpire, maybe you can see this block. Okay, so umpire, go back a little bit further. Umpire, we know we are looking, backside. So if we take a look here, at this point, our umpire, backside would be these guys. But again, we have space. Don't officiate air. So if there's no threat of a foul here, then where's your next thing you should be looking? Umpire. Well, there's no reason to go back that far. So that's why the umpire might be able to pick that up. Okay, and enforcement-wise, we go out of bounds at that spot. So we are going to be block in the back occurred. Where was it here? Sorry, let's go back, see where it was. Block in the back occurred right at the 25-yard line. We go, our progress is 25-yard line, so we're going to enforce it 10 yards from there. And this will be a good one to talk about mechanically. We definitely are going sideways or backwards out of bounds. We would want to wind that clock. So let's see what our official does. Great job. I love it. So we're winding the clock. So we're saying his progress was stopped in bounds. And that would mean that we're going to be on the ready for play after we enforce that penalty. All right, let's take a look at this one. Okay, we've got DPI, early contact, not playing the ball. Remember, DPI is when the ball's in the air. If we have something that happens before the ball's in the air, that's when you could possibly have defensive holding. Okay, so let's take a look at this one. All right, so let's go back and take a look here. We've got nothing yet. So we got to, oh, my bad, wrong guy. Okay, oh, darn, sorry. Let's go back here. We are looking at, yeah, that guy there. Okay, so we're going to watch this guy, and ball gets in the air. Ball's in the air, and he just chucks him out of bounds. And that contact right there, ball's in the air, we have DPI. Okay, so we have an incomplete pass. So remember, DPI is a 15-yard penalty. We are inside. We have fourth down, so we're going to have a first down with the result of this penalty. I'm 99% sure that we are, in high school, we go half the distance, I believe, on a DPI. It's inside the 30. Please check that. I don't have my rule book with me right here to check that. But anyway, we are going to have a first down at the end of this. And he's not looking to the ball. Early contact is why we have a foul for DPI on that play. All right, next one here. Again, look at our formation. We have 2-by-1. So we have two receivers. We have our tight end as an eligible receiver. He's outside the tackle, right? So eligible receiver number 1, second eligible receiver, only one eligible receiver on this side. So we know that our back judge is going to have our outside guy. Our line judge is going to have the inside guy, in this case, the tight end. And we're going to have our short wings going to have our headline judge will have this guy. So again, we talked about this before. He opens his hips right away. And right now, back judge does a great job of peeking at the quarterback because his guy's not pressed. So again, we don't need to be staring at him if there's 4 yards between them. So he opens his hips. So our back judge never takes a look over here, which he shouldn't. And we got the fade. So our black back judge goes. Now this is what I'm talking about with hand fighting. Okay, they're both looking back for the ball. We got some hand fighting going on. This ball's not in the air very long. So back judge, you might be able to get to about here, the goalpost, but then just stop. We don't want you to continue on the move. All right. And in this case, with that snap there, ball's in the air, you can just stop right here so you get a good read on this play. All right. So as we continue, we have nothing until right at the very end there. And that's when we have our foul. Okay, so we just have hand fighting, nothing. But watch what happens here at the end. Okay, so settle in. If you get to the goal line before that ball gets there, great. But if you don't, settle down before then. And watch this. Now you're going to see a restriction of the shoulder of this guy as he throws himself out in front. Okay, and that's what makes it a foul. And we have 2 flags. Good job. And one thing mechanically, remember, we want to finish the play. So what's the result of this play? Okay, we have an incomplete pass. So don't give the kill the clock signal. Just give an incomplete pass signal, because incomplete pass signal does 2 things. It tells us incomplete pass and it kills the clock. So that's the only one that we would need to signal. And then if I continue here, you can see our referee and our umpire also are given a kill the clock signal. No reason to do that. We do have penalties, so it's not horrible to mechanically. Really, we've got 2 officials down there that are doing that, so that's going to be enough. All right, next play we've got. Okay, rules mechanics of IDP. IDP stands for ineligible player downfield, and we miss an offensive holding because we have the wrong official watching for an ineligible player downfield. In high school 5-man mechanics, the umpire is primary on ineligible players downfield. And mechanically, if we do things right, we won't miss this. So when we read pass, what we're going to do, umpire step up and get to 3 yards. So we started out at 5 yards. Great start there. Just step up to 3 yards. And now what you're looking at is, anybody who goes beyond that mark where you're standing now, if you get to 3 yards, is going to be downfield. So let's watch this lineman right here. He's releasing downfield. And we don't have a foul just because he goes downfield, right? We got to see what happens. But like I said, umpire primary for this. If you step up to 3 yards and just hold there, if any lineman passes you, you're thinking, I've got an ineligible player downfield hanging. Talked about OPI hanging. We can have the same thing with ineligible downfield. We don't have a foul unless we have a legal forward pass that crosses line of scrimmage. Okay, so line of scrimmage officials, you are secondary on ineligible player downfield. But if you know mechanically, because you've talked about this in a pregame, you've seen the training tape, you know that your umpire is going to have IDP, so then you're not worrying about that. Excuse me. You're watching receiver up here who ends up getting held, and the coach is yelling about the IDP before the pass is even thrown. So obviously he doesn't understand that that's not a foul yet. In this case, we have a pass that when it's touched is well behind the line of scrimmage. So we do not have a foul for ineligible player downfield. But if we go back and take a look here, what we do have definitely is a hold. This block starts out good. We're good. But now, in this case, he remember the difference I talked about on that other one? If he just rides him down, we're fine. But watch, he's going to turn, and you'll see his body twist here. Right there. That continuing right there, that's what makes this different than that other block and makes this a hold. Okay, so we get a flag down for ineligible player downfield by our wing when we did not have that foul because that ball was touched. That ball never crossed the line of scrimmage. We got a screen pass. Hopefully the crew talked about this, and maybe this other line of scrimmage official said that pass never crossed the line of scrimmage, so we don't have a foul for that. And then we would pick up this flag for IDP. Unfortunately, we should have had a flag for offensive holding. So let's talk about if we did have a flag for offensive holding, where that would be enforced from. Okay, so this is during a pass play. Okay, so offensive, we have previous spot enforcement, or previous spot is our basic spot on pass play. And that's where that foul occurred, and it was in front, so we're going to enforce from the previous spot in this case. Okay, we're not going to enforce this from the spot of the foul. An offensive foul in front of the basic spot is not going to be enforced from the spot of the foul. It's only when it's behind the basic spot. This occurred during the pass, so therefore our basic spots are previous spot. So we're going to go back and see where we snapped this from was position 5 to 19. So we would go half the distance, and we would be at position 5. We're going to have a run that happens inbounds at the end of the play. Got a running play. Why am I spinning here? So we're going to be on the ready for play. Okay, so a lot of things we need to think about mechanically there. Okay, talking about double team blocks. So if we have a double team block, to be an offensive hold, we need one of two things. Either it needs to be a takedown, or the defender breaks through the double team, and then we have a grab and restrict. But a philosophy, and this is up and down from high school to the NFL, if we have a double team block, we're not going to have an offensive hold unless it's a takedown or he breaks through and we have a grab and restrict. This is not a foul for a block and for a hold, and we get the flag from our umpire. Problem is our umpire gets to it late, and he he should be getting to it late probably. He's looking backside, so he might be looking to see here if 50 does a blindside block on 90 or something here. Okay, so his eyes shouldn't be here right now. We know that our short wing is going to be on this block, and there's nothing else for our back judge to be looking at. So he definitely is going to be on this block. All right, the umpire is the only one who throws. So my point is, if we have two sets of eyes on the block that our umpire called a hold on, and we have two other officials who didn't think it was a hold, then come and talk to him and say, did you have a hold on that double team? Because, I had a good look and he didn't restrict him. Okay, we just take a look. He just pushes him down from the side. But again, watch, his body doesn't twist. Okay, the guy just loses his balance a little bit and he pushes him down from the side. We get a hold, incorrect call by one official when we had two others who were looking at the same thing. You need to talk as a crew about picking up flags if someone has a better angle and made a better judgment. Okay, if this was in fact a hold that occurred right there at the, whatever that is, the 34-yard line, our run ends up at the 30. We know if that was, then we would enforce it from the spot of the foul. Okay, so again, taking a look, right now, line judge or headline judge, you should be watching this block. We don't officiate air. We don't need to be watching that guy run in space. And again, don't move so much. Okay, so just hold your spot here. Just stay right there. First of all, I'd like it if you're behind this play. Okay, so we talked about this. So right now, step back. And instead of being where you are, be here. And now you have a better angle at that block. Okay, but you're kind of probably trying to stay out of the way and make sure you don't get killed here, not watching blocks. I mean, it looks here like you're looking at a runner, and again, he's in space, so look out in front. Okay? All right, let's take a look at our next play. Oops, I went too far. Okay, so this last two plays here, these are going to be college games, but this does a good job of showing the restriction we want to see for a hold. Okay, so we're going to have a completed pass. So let's take a look at blocks here first of all. So we get a good little chip block here by this man. This is he doesn't blindside block. He doesn't lay him out. Just a little chip block. And this block, if I freeze it here, we should have both these officials looking at it. In this case, if this was a high school game, we would have our back judge. We would be looking at that block. Okay, and so we would have our back judge and our headline judge on that block. Right now, it starts out legal, and what we're watching for is restriction. And what we look for restriction is on offensive holding is, does it cause a shoulder dip? Does it take his feet away? And what I mean by his feet, taking his feet away, is his feet seem to be stuck or dragging behind him, kind of. Okay, so we continue this where it becomes a foul. Let me go back here, sorry. So right now you can see now his shoulder's been dipped. Okay, that's when this becomes a foul. It is at the point of attack. So we need our flag at the 49-yard line. Our run ends up beyond it. So we know we're going to enforce it from the spot of that foul. This will show us a good angle again. Okay, so right now we're good. Right now, you can see the twist that occurred. I'll go back and go in slow motion now. Right there is where we get that twist and shoulder dip, and that's what makes it a foul. And we did have two flags. It's deep wing, short wing. In a high school game, I would expect the flag from our short wing and also our back judge. All right, this is our last play. So this does a few things I want to show on this play. One is our what we do at the end of the play. Okay, so this is actually a game of mine from last year, and I'm the field judge at the or side judge actually at the bottom of the screen. So finish the play. You can see right here, incomplete pass signal being given right there. And now I just went to my O2O and signaled holding defense number 12. And our referee is going to give our announcement, which I know you can't hear, but that's all right. What I want to show next is here's our view of our defensive hold. So remember to talk about not officiating air. My key is actually the outside guy. All right. If this was a high school game in 5-man mechanics, our back judge would have these 2 outside guys. No one is threatened. Okay. So with no one being threatened, I'm not going to stare at this guy, who's my key in this case. Instead, I look inside and I see, and what we're talking about with the shoulder dip, a grab and restrict, right there, you can see that. That's a grab and restrict. Ball is still in the quarterback's hand. Defensive holding. Flag comes out. Okay, so now I want to talk about how efficiently you and your crew can, get this announcement made, this penalty enforced. Okay, so we got flag into the play. Okay, so right now, finishing the play, give a preliminary signal. Since there's only one flag, you can't give a preliminary if there's more than one flag. There's only one flag, so preliminary signal, and then you have, I've got defensive holding number 12, and depending on how you want to report it to your referee. But so next thing I want to show is I'm here on my O2O, and there's Larry, our referee, and he just steps forward a little bit, and we are 30 yards apart, and he's giving the announcement. Okay, as this is happening, our umpire's getting our ball. We're going to get it out and step this off, and then we're going to be ready to roll. So with O2O, we don't need to come all the way in here and meet with our referee. We only have one flag, preliminary signal, O2O. Let him know what you got. He makes the announcements, and then you go. All right, so that's the efficiency at which even high school crews can easily make calls. All right, next play, we've got OPI hanging. I want to talk about that again. So we got a block right here downfield. Our snap was at the 30, so we got blocking downfield. So if I'm the back judge, that's my key. And really, our short wing should be looking at that block as well. Okay, and you just say to yourself out loud, block. And then you've got what's called OPI hanging. So we've got a blocking downfield, but that is not a foul unless that quarterback throws the ball beyond the line of scrimmage. So I still don't have a foul. I got hanging. I've got OPI hanging. I don't have anything. Now he throws the ball beyond the line of scrimmage. Now we've got our foul for OPI. Okay? So again, block. And you have OPI hanging. No flags. Wait. Still have OPI hanging. Still have it hanging. Now I've got a flag for OPI. Okay, that's what we mean by OPI hanging. Block downfield, it's hanging. We do not have a foul unless we have a ball that crosses line of scrimmage, cross line of scrimmage, which we do. All right. This is our last play. This is you can't get better mechanics than this line judge does on this play. And I should say headline judge because in your game it'd be the H. We're in the second quarter, so we flipped. But anyway, we've got snaps at the 5. He immediately goes to the goal line, and he sees blocking downfield. And then when the pass crosses the line of scrimmage, he's got his flag out. We end up with the score. But since he threw a flag that he knows is not going to take the touchdown off the board, he doesn't give a signal. He just gives a stop the clock signal. And my note here is anytime we're in the red zone, we need to be thinking about picks. It's a red flag anytime a receiver goes to the inside. So watch this receiver. He's going to go to the inside and watch his feet, chops his feet. blocking posture. That's exactly what I talked about on another training tape. That's a block. Downfield, our headline judge going to the goal line. OPI's hanging. No flag yet. Now we've got a legal pass across the line of scrimmage. Now we've got our flag that comes out. He knows that he doesn't have a touchdown because his OPI is going to make it where we don't have a touchdown. So he just gives the kill the clock signal. Goes to the referee. That's exactly how we should be doing that. So again, let's take a look at this player going to the inside. Once he goes inside, don't leave him. See that block, OPI hanging. Now we've got our flag. We're not going to have a touchdown signal. That's it. So that was our last play. There though. So again, if you thought it was beneficial, give me a thumbs up on the YouTube, and we'll talk to you again soon.